Welcome to the Mendon Alum podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Singer. Today joining us, we have Dylan Piacelli. Dill, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Very good. I'm excited. I think I have like a bye week this week, so I'm really excited.
Oh, that's what you think. You're like literally you haven't broken 150 yet. So
That's just not true.
not since like week 2.
That's true. That could be true. My
Eh,
team's been weak, but we need to hit our stride and we will.
Well, yeah, I mean I got McCaffrey back, so
You
I'm
do
not
have
complaining about our
McCaffrey.
matchup yet, but like just know that.
Yep, you have McCaffrey back. That's big. But you don't have Joe Mixon. You don't have Kenny Galladay. Who else? You're missing another player, right?
Boyd hurts.
Yeah, no Boyd and Odell went to IR.
I don't care about Odell.
I do want to just point something out though. So, you're known as the perennial wish injury upon players guy.
That's not true. That's
No, don't even start with me. That's you.
I'm just not like some grandstanding freak like yourself. Like, oh, I'm just a good person. Like, no, you love injuries. Like, I'm just.
That's crazy, dude. No one loves injuries.
Don't
Only
you remember
evil.
what you said about Teddy Bridgewater? You psycho.
You have no. I didn't. First of all, I didn't say anything about Teddy Bridgewater.
Anything that bad?
Eli Rockoff made a comment after everyone kept getting injured, and I didn't actually think he was hurt, and I started laughing because the comment was ridiculous, and now you think I'm some type of evil.
I recall saying like, "Oh, I think he might be like KO'd bad," and you're like,
"No,
shut up," or something crazy.
Dude, how many times did Eli wish injuries that game? How many times?
He wasn't wishing them; he was just announcing.
Exactly. All right, yeah, that's what I mean. But anyway, so
you were wishing them.
You wish. I don't wish.
No, I mean, we'll see.
But just to go back over, I did want to point out that karma is a bitch, and you have been bedridden, IR ridden. Joe Mixon gone down with injury. Kenny Galladay gone down with injury. And I mean, obviously Christian McCaffrey happened, but Odell IR, you have been getting fucked by injury. Do you think this is karma?
No. I mean, it hasn't stopped me, so yeah.
What do you mean it hasn't stopped? You just lost last week.
Yeah, I mean, you've not lost games. Like, yeah, you lose games. I don't know. I'm 5-3. I'm doing awesome.
You are tied with like 5 of us. You're all right. You might not make the playoffs.
Wow, that'd be a shame because I deserve to be in.
Yeah. But anyway, I did want to bring that up and see your thoughts. But without further ado, let's go over the week 8 recap. And we'll start off with my game. I played Matt Malone, Big Waller brand, and I got the dub 153.94 to 113.96. My top performer, Russell Wilson, 28.74. Tyreek Hill, 25.8. Alvin Kamara, 25.3. For Malone, he had 28.4 from Bob Woods, 18.86 from Joey Burrow, and 17.2 from Derrick Henry. What do you have to say about my matchup, Dill?
I think you're very top heavy. The only real threat you have is Alvin Kamara.
Uh-oh. Sounds like we're losing you again.
Zeke has been a disappointment. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties over in the Piacelli house with their Wi-Fi, but I think it's better now. So yeah, Dill, I agree. Zeke has been a disappointment. What else though? My team, Malone's team, anything from last week?
I mean, I think Tyreek Hill, that honestly for the win now position is very good. Like you did give up a real weapon in the keeper situation because that's where he thrives. I mean, Stephon Diggs next year for what? Not nine, like less than 20, right?
Yeah, I think it's 18 is what Max gets him for.
I think I mean that's like he's a 30, he's Adam Thielen worth. So he's 30 plus big time wide out. I think he'll only get better with Josh Allen. So That hurts you. David Montgomery, I wish I had him. I'll just say that.
I
He's a very
appreciate it.
dependable running back. Like he's not great, but he is plug him in, he'll get you 10 to he's upgraded. He went from like 8 to 10 to 10 to 12 maybe now. So
Yeah. He also got he had the first goal line look from the 1 yard line, but it was such like a clear run and they stopped him and then they threw a touchdown pass the next play. So that was tough. You know, he would have had like 18. But
yeah, you add a touchdown to that game. That's a strong game.
yeah.
Cooper Cup he got lucky with. He's not a 22 guy.
Bro,
That
he didn't get lucky. He had 21 targets. He only had 11 catches on 21 targets. That's
yeah,
not
that's
lucky.
crazy. But
21 targets. That's the
he
most
hasn't
of any person, of any wide receiver, any position this year.
he hasn't been that good this year though.
He hasn't, but 21 targets, you love that.
It's good target share. I'll give you that.
It's fucking incredible.
But otherwise, I think I don't know Malone. What are you gonna do when you have Waller, Jefferson, Cooper all go for less than 10? Those are guys he needs. Like
Yeah.
Robert Woods can have a big game, but you need something out of Waller. Certainly need something out of Cooper. So those two guys really hurt him. Really didn't give him a good chance.
Yeah, I really
T.
think he.
Higgins, good pickup though. Strong pickup for him. I
Yeah,
like
Higgins has
that.
been good. His only real, his only player that actually performed for him was Robert Woods.
And that's, I mean, that like I watched that game. It was a horrible game
Yeah,
flow. I didn't know like Jared Goff. He somehow put some numbers up, but he looked horrible.
yeah,
Their offensive line couldn't block a soul. That hurts.
yeah. It was pathetic to watch, but it was nice to see Cooper Cup. But yeah, I got the win there. Mr. Unlimited improves to 5-3, retakes first place in the league, and Malone falls to 4-4,
Well,
putting him.
you're tied for first place. Don't.
I am alone in first place with the most points for.
This is a records game. The points for
See, if you had more points for, you would say you're in first, huh?
no, I was the only one who truly was in first place for any period of time. All you
Well,
guys are tied, whatever.
all right, we'll see.
Other
We'll see when it's all
people
said and done.
are first place. That's why I said I was in first place because I was.
How
I
about this? I am projected the number one seed.
I don't care.
I'm in first
Your,
place. All
your,
right. So,
your projections they suck. You said Max was a top tier team. He's by far the worst player in our league. It's not even close.
that's true.
You recall him?
Well,
You
whoa,
said
whoa, 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 whoa. I don't think he is the worst player in our league this year. I don't even think it's close.
it's close. Him and Jay, I guess.
Like what good move has at least Max picked
No,
up like
Jay,
Miles Gaskin? What was Jay's best move this year?
he's
Seriously,
been
what
bad.
was it?
I'll give it. He's been bad. So
He
he's
has been awful. He was supposed to be on this pod, and I think he has to teach tennis lessons. But I
yeah.
was gonna ask him.
He probably just doesn't want to be on it because he's a loser. That's like I don't
He'll
know.
be on it.
How else do you describe him? He's simply a loser. He's like he can't score a point.
I would say there's a better word to describe him. I think the word is Sacko. You know it all too well, too.
Yeah, but that's the past. Like I don't care anymore. I'm good. I'm
Yes.
sharp now.
Yeah, you are
I
sharp.
drafted infinitely better than all of you. Oh, Tyler Boyd sucks. He's blowing AJ Green out of the water. He's a top 15 wideout. Sick.
That's true. All right, let's move on. So I got the win there. I move on to 5-3, and Malone falls to 4-4. We move on to who seems to be the hottest team in the league right now, and that's Mikey. He puts up 172.42, the highest score of the week, and that beats Max's 132.64. Honestly, a solid outing for Max. I'm not really going to go through the top performers, but I will say, Travis Kelce, that trade with Nick, but DK Metcalf blew up for 40. I mean, you can't do much about that. But the Travis Kelce addition was huge for Mike. And then on Max's side, Mahomes throwing 5 touchdowns against the Jets is nice, but he gets benched. So that was tough. But what do you have to say about this matchup, Dill?
Yeah, I mean Mike's team is a threat. He's very good. He's very deep. He doesn't necessarily have like stars besides Kelsey, but I mean obviously DK is now, but he wasn't supposed to be.
His wideouts are stars. He's got Hop, Keenan,
The running
DK.
back room's bad. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's not really options there either. It's like, I mean, you can't really. Allaire really hasn't been as good as I feel like people kind of like have gassed him up pretty good. He's a fine running back, but he's not great.
Yeah.
He doesn't catch the ball enough.
Yeah, he hasn't been great for fantasy this
He's
year.
not exactly even like, I mean, he looks good, but he's not incredible in my opinion. He's not like gonna be any sort of top 5 back ever. I don't think that's where
Oh
he'll
no,
be ever.
I agree. He's good. He's average.
Yeah, he's solid, but he's like he's not a Ezekiel Elliott at his prime. He's not a
No.
Saquon or McCaffrey. He's not like in that league. I feel like people kind of wanted him to get there or hope, but he's not that.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown, or no, that's
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown. Fuck, my bad. I don't think he's been as good as you would have liked.
Nah, I thought he was going to be sick. He had one catch the past week. If it was a touchdown pass,
But
but
quite honestly, that's way more on. I don't think Lamar Jackson's a good enough pocket thrower. He's obviously dynamic athlete and whatnot. They throw very well. So
yeah, we're kind of breaking up again. But Mikey kind of got lucky with that touchdown pass. Like, I mean, Lamar had an awful day, and it would have been 4 points. It would have been 4 points less if it weren't for that touchdown, and Marquise Brown would have been that 7.3 less. So he almost had a zero ball other than one catch, and Lamar had an awful day, and it was almost even worse. But it didn't matter. Mikey still put up 172. He had, like, first of all, I will give him very, very much props. He picked up Corey Davis, who put up 26.8. And Mikey was telling me, he's like, dude, like, Corey Davis is sick. I'm like, I don't really like him that much. Like, he doesn't do anything for me. He started him, and he proved me wrong. He had a huge day. So good shit out of him.
yep. And that's even with Hopkins on a bye. Hopkins is possibly his best player, so that's a huge week for him.
Yeah. He looks like a real threat for the playoffs.
Work.
Nope, we're losing you. But while we reconnect, hopefully this doesn't happen the whole pod, but while we reconnect, I will say Max, it was a tough break. He would have beaten a bunch of teams this week. He would have beaten, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Max was he was an elite player this week. He would have beaten 6 teams, and it's unfortunate he had to go up against the top scorer. But I don't think he's going to be the Sacko. It's tough that he lost Myles Gaskin, but yeah.
Be ashamed of.
Yeah, I can't hear a word you're saying anymore. This is unfortunate. There we go. We're back.
Back.
All right. But yeah, what do you have to say about Max's team?
I mean, it is. He's getting ready for next year. That's what he's doing. Henry Ruggs not good enough and have 2.9. You can't have really no skill like more than 20. You need someone to go off a little bit. He never really gets so.
Yeah.
You can do there when you're.
Dill, let's have you rejoin from your phone. And just because I think if you rejoin from your phone, it'll probably be better connection because we can't really hear you, and it'll record that way. So I'll let you back in through that. But while he does that, I will take over and just say, Mikey puts himself tied for first place. It's a 5-way tie right now, but he looks like a force. I do very much expect him to make the playoffs. Max, on the other hand, this loss probably kicked him out of the playoffs for good. I think he probably has the same record as Perna, who thinks he has a chance, but I don't think Perna actually has a chance. But I also don't think Max is in jeopardy of Sacko. He's got a solid team. He's got Nick Chubb coming back next week. So, yeah, for him, he just kind of got to ride out the rest of the season. He's got his keepers with Stephon Diggs next year, and whether he chooses Myles Gaskin or someone else, I think Max will be all right. But it looks like Max's season is over. So that's tough. But yeah, so Mike improves to 5-3. Max falls to 3-5. And we move on. And we move on to another matchup that was looks like Dill just joined us back. Let's hear him. Let's see. Should be better. Dill, we got you.
Yep.
Good stuff. So all right, we're back. So I just closed up that last matchup, and now we're gonna move on to Perna. He wins 166.14. He beats your brother, Dill. He beats your brother Jay by 55 points. Or 55 points, 111.02 for Jay, one of his better weeks. I know that's like a joke, but it's serious. What do you have to say about that matchup, Dill?
I mean, there's not much. Jay is by far the worst player in the league, obviously. I'd be stunned to even hear that he's trying at this point. I mean, obviously he's going for keeper. We'll see if he can exactly do it. I don't think he's there yet, personally.
There in terms of what?
Well, he's putting a lot of stock in Chris Carson being really good keeper.
Supposedly you're putting that stock in his head. That's what I hear.
No, I think he is, but he needs someone else, and I don't know that he has anything. It's like he's got nothing in that. I suppose the kid from Washington, Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson. Gibson's a good keeper. Good. I'll give him that.
That's good keeper. I mean, we'll see, though. I don't know that he's like really he's like getting his share of touches, but I don't think he's showed like that he is really, really good. So
yeah,
I think there's room for someone to come in and take some of the load. So
yeah, I think it's a good take. It's just Jay's team is really bad, and it's not going to be. There's not much hope. Like Max has hope. He's got Diggs for $18 next year, and he's got options with Gaskin or a different player on his team. Jay has, like, seriously, I mean, his best keeper. Oh, Gibson is a decent keeper. He'll get him for, I think, like $6 or $7. So that's nice. But, like, he's not moving the needle for him. He's got him on his team now, and he's not doing much. And then his next best keeper it probably is Chris Carson at cost. It'll be, I think, upper 30s that he has to keep him for. And when you put that into perspective, it's like, that's a lot of money.
In fairness, Carson is I mean, what I think Jay's going to pay 32 or 33 for him next year. That's really not bad for his caliber.
I thought I could be wrong, but I thought it was the keeper was for higher 30s. Am I wrong?
I'm pretty sure he was bought for 28, so I'm pretty sure that actually looks okay, honestly.
Yeah, if that's the case, not horrible. It's definitely some value. It's just not. It's not that much, but like he does get a lot of savings from Antonio Gibson, which is nice. But the Chris Carson thing.
I mean, realistically, I think you're saving about 10 to 15, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, Chris Carson went for 28, so he gets to keep him for 33. So yeah, I mean, he's saving like a couple bucks, realistically, like a couple bucks, I think.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that's fair. But I don't know. I guess to guarantee that you don't have to engage in some sort of bidding war for him is not horrible.
Sure, yeah, no, that's nice. It's nice to have. It's nice to have that. Like I'm gonna probably be keeping Alvin Kamara. I would assume you're probably keeping who? Robbie Anderson.
My lean right now is him and Fuller. I'll just keep them.
Okay, and you got both of them for like $1 and maybe $2 for Fuller. Fuller was cheap, right?
I think we determined it's about 14 to keep them both.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's good savings, and you're going to be one of those guys that's going to have to pay for a running back. You might have to pay up. That's not been a problem for you historically.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be in that market, and I'm gonna be blitzing again. So
yeah. Well, the blitz, it worked out for you kind of, even though technically your first two picks that you spent a combined $140 for, one of them season-ending IR, the other one basically half the season IR. But
I flipped one of them. I was always that was always the plan. So no,
Yeah,
like
that was a sick plan. I'll give you that. It worked out perfectly. The injury king himself just, puts his devil touch on.
yeah, and then I gave him a rock off with a broken knee. So
Yeah.
that
At
was
least you gave him
unfortunate.
the rock. Like I would have felt bad if you gave it to like literally anyone else, but to Rock, it's just funny for us.
Yeah, it's whatever.
But anyway, Perna's been a fucking force recently. He is looking like him and Mikey are the two hottest teams right now. Dalvin Cook and Devontae Adams score all of the touchdowns in that game. Like you can't do anything when Dalvin Cook scores 4 touchdowns, Devontae Adams scores 2 touchdowns. It was just like they
No,
just
that's true.
off. Yeah.
There's literally nothing he could have done.
Yeah. Like he got 0 points from Nelson Aguilar, his flex 2, and he got 3.3 points from Jimmy Graham, and he got 4 points from his kicker, and he still put up the second most points in the league at 166. Like he had a fucking day.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good for him. I think I love Dalvin Cook. I wish he was healthy all the time. I think as a pure runner, I don't know that, or as a pure running back, actually, he catches the ball really well too. But just with the ball in his hand, there's not many better than him.
Yeah, he's a freak. He was sick.
And that offense is actually like way better. I thought it'd stink, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, they've been fantasy wise, they're good. Team itself not great, but
no, their defense sucks, so that hurts them. But like
yeah,
they
that
can
helps
put
the
some points up.
fantasy.
Yeah, they put points up.
Yeah, for sure. But
Devontae Adams, that stack with Rodgers, I would love to have that.
yeah. See, I don't love I don't love Rodgers. I know he's been money, but Devontae Adams has been money. I know. I don't think it's gonna stay. Like I don't think he's gonna be having 2 touchdowns a game. I could be wrong. I do think he's gonna have a very good game tonight as they play the Niners. And we'll see. Aaron Jones, I just heard, is questionable, so he might play. But if there's no Aaron Jones, it's gonna be the Devontae show again.
I thought Aaron Jones was out, but I honestly don't know for sure.
He was like supposed to be, but I got an update that's he's questionable. I still expect him to be out, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know if they'll have to play him because they're playing a broken football team right now. So
yeah, exactly. But let's move on. Perna improves to 3-5, and Jay falls to 1-7. You can
I
then
mean, Perna's dangerous if he can get in somehow.
Yeah, I think we have 4 weeks left. So if he wins out, he'll be 7-5. It just doesn't look good for him.
He left himself very little wiggle room, but
it's almost impossible. I think. I know he likes to think he has a chance, but I don't think so. We'll see. Anyway, we move on to the next game, and this was our closest matchup of the week. It was what I thought was going to be the most important matchup, and that was between Rock and Hoove. Rock ended up pulling it out on Monday night with Leonard Fournette, who had a bad game and actually was scaring Rock, but he can thank that Ronald Jones fumble. But Rock wins by just under, almost like basically 2 points. It was like less than 2.1. It was like 2.0 something. So
I mean,
2.08.
That Philadelphia touchdown is a crime against humanity. That's just the fact that stood. If I was Hoove, I would never forget it. I'd be so mad for the rest of my life because that's crazy.
And that's the difference in the game. I mean, Hoove wins that if he was clearly down, like they clearly had touched him and he was. It
wasn't close. I would have been so mad. And like the NFL has to know that that's like people love fantasy and they just can't. Yeah. It can't happen.
It really can't happen. I would be livid as well. It's bullshit. We should maybe change the record of Rock and Hoove and switch it because that just can't happen.
No, I'm not even like kidding. That's a crime, like against humanity. I don't know how else to describe because that's like a very obvious call, and I get it was garbage time in the game, but Garbage time is where fantasy football players are made. So
you are a raccoon. You are born and you feed in the garbage.
yeah, like I mean, in that because Hoove really didn't get a. I mean, he obviously didn't have a great week. I don't think any of his players went off. Kittle getting hurt is brutal, obviously.
Julio, Gio, and Allen Robinson all had 20 plus, but other than that, it was just garbage performances.
Like Josh Allen didn't give a Josh Allen. Like he played okay, but he just didn't. They did. They were running the ball really well. So
yeah, Zach Moss carried him. Zach Moss on his bench. If he were to start him, he gets the win.
that hurts because you're looking at rock skill positions. They sucked. Like Jamal Williams was pretty good. Quarterback was okay, not great. Everything else was horrible, and then his defense and kicker score almost 40 points. So
yeah, he's.
That was such a. I couldn't even imagine being Hoove. I'd be so mad.
And that's it's a big one, like now
Huge.
Hoove's on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Exactly. And Rock is sitting relatively pretty. He is tied in a 5-way first place battle, and he's got a big matchup. He needs to beat Max this week, and I know it's going to be tough. He's missing if Aaron Jones doesn't play and he has Kareem Hunt on a bye, I think he's starting. His running backs are Fournette and
Urban, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or is some practice squad schmuck. So
he was scrambling around last night. I know he was looking for a running back.
Yeah.
I don't think you make it happen, but
I told him. I said I'll give you Zeke for Aaron Jones, but he won't.
No, you can't. That's a horrible trade. Oh. I would have been up and I would have been like calling for your head like a classic.
To be fair, you probably would call for my head if it were the exact same trade the other way. So
yeah, almost assuredly.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter the trade you make. I would complain.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm glad that's set in stone, so everyone can hear that. I'm gonna find the time on the YouTube video of that, and I'm literally just gonna link it and just send it all the time, just so everyone knows.
No, I'm pretty open with you that I think you're. In terms of fantasy, I despise everything about you, and I'll fight. I'll just if you make a proposal, I'm fighting it. If you say anything, it's gonna get pushed back. I blindly disagree with you.
That's fair. I did want to make you an offer, actually.
Well, you can save that because I'll never take it.
I heard you like Alvin Kamara and David Montgomery, so I was gonna offer you those two for Christian McCaffrey.
What?
I'm just kidding. I wanted to see what your reaction would be. I'm not offering you that. Christian McCaffrey is not going to be as good as you think he will be. The rest.
That's funny. Did you see how much meat Mike Davis left on that bone on Thursday night? Like that was crazy. He should have had way more points.
That's true. But you live and die by the Carolina Panthers, who just lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
That's definitely not the case.
Oh yeah, and the Bengals. So you live and die by the Panthers and the Bengals. So
what about the Texans? I have a lot of skin in their game.
True. 3 teams all below 500. You live and die by.
This guy's putting up points at value. I don't know. What am I going to do? I'm not going to I got good value.
Good. Yes. It's garbage time. I mean, you're a raccoon. You live in the trash. So
yeah.
Enjoy. But anyway,
going off that, I almost got a little garbage time again this week. I mean, I just came up just short.
Yeah, honestly, that was a crazy game. I was watching that heavy on Monday night. I actually was rooting for you because Nick's team scares me, and I would love to play you in the playoffs. You're a bye week. It's you're just a bye.
Yeah, I mean that's just not true. So whatever.
But anyway, you're right. You almost pulled it out, and we're going to talk about that game in just a second. But Hoove falls to 4-4, and Rock improves to 5-3, tied for first place, with myself, Mikey, and now the matchup that we're going to talk about. That's you and Nick. Nick pulls out the win late Monday night, 102-98. He beats you by 4. I guess you have that Mike Evans garbage time touchdown to thank for that.
That was infuriating. I've never been so mad.
Yeah, I was pissed because I'm so anti Mike Evans, and then that happened.
I mean, I'm just pissed. Like, I don't know. I'm so mad at myself for not looking at the weather and starting Bridgewater. That's just inexcusable. Like, that's just poor fantasy play.
Who else would
I
you have
don't like.
started?
What do you mean? Who should have I?
Who would you have started? You know, not necessarily should,
I
but
mean,
who would you have?
Stafford would have made way more sense in a dome. Like, it just
Yeah.
anybody. Like, I can't be playing an average quarterback in a hurricane. You know, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be smarter than that. I gotta be better than that. I had way too much skin in that game. They all sucked. And it was bad. It was bad weather. Like, I obviously had to play the other two. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Jay told me to play Bridgewater. That obviously screwed me. I don't know. Like, he should. I don't want him to speak to me. He's a cancer.
I can't wait for the playoffs when Jay is just in your ear because he thinks that your team is his team for some reason, and he's just like, "Yo, Dill, like you got to start Wayne Gallman over Christian McCaffrey this week."
Yeah,
Bro.
no, that's. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to like stick to Wittig giving me advice and just ride the Wittig advice because Jay is a moron and I hate
I'll
him.
know every time Wittig asks me for advice because anytime I get a text from Wittig, which is rare, it's always fantasy advice, and I'll know he's asking about your lineup now.
No, he doesn't ask. He doesn't. He plays his own fantasy.
Yeah, no, okay.
He
I'm just
doesn't
saying.
like double ask. He knows the deal. He knows
Oh,
it's for this league.
I know he double asks.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he's a double asker.
Well, we'll see. We'll see come playoffs. I don't know. All I know is like if I don't listen to Jay and play like the reasonable play of Matt Stafford, I win that easy and I don't have to be talking about this. Like it's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was like if you can't beat 102 points, you're not going to make any noise in the playoffs. That's what it comes down to. And you couldn't even put
No,
up
I mean
100.
I had a tough bye week situation. I'm not like it is what it is. I'll drop a game here, but like had bad
Yeah.
bye weeks, had bad injuries. I don't know. It's just a tough week.
Yeah, tough week, but you're the only
Obviously,
team that didn't score 100 plus.
yeah, I'm also 5-3, so I don't care.
But in the past week, you're 0-1.
That's like just stupid. Your like logic is stupid.
I mean, it's a fact. I do have a question. This is a serious question.
What?
Do you feel more at home?
You want to get some steps
in the bottom of the barrel? Welcome to the Mendon Alum podcast, Carl Piacelli.
Yeah, no, he came barging in on me. It's like Jesus, man.
It's okay. It's all good. He's actually in our league. It's not really Jay. It's Carl Piacelli. Right?
It is my dad's count. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I would assume he used to run Jay's team, from what I've heard, over the past 4 years.
Oh
but
no,
this year,
no. My
Jay's
dad
took over.
knows. He knows very little about football.
All
If
right.
you ask him to name 5 Bills players, he'd struggle. And we watch every week, so that's where we're
tough.
at.
All right. Well, that's fair. But anyway, any last words about your pitiful performance last week?
There's nothing to say. I really poor management at quarterback, unfortunate injuries, and that's basically what did me in. I was still in it.
All right, so you fall to 5-3. Nick advances to 5-3, and there is now a 5-way tie for first place in terms of record. Just the points for separating us all.
Yeah, it's a thrill.
What's a thrill?
The whole league, like everyone can. There's basically nobody who's even close to being locked in.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's a shit show. I don't think anyone has locked in the playoffs. I think this week is going to be big for both of us.
There's been rampant inconsistency.
Yep, that there has. I think we're looking like I don't know. We really don't know. I'd say the contenders are you, myself, Rock is a contender, Nick is a contender, Mikey is a contender, Hoove is a contender.
I think Malone is too, honestly. His team's pretty well.
And Malone is a contender. Yeah. I'd say there are 7 contenders.
Yeah, really the only people who can't do anything, I would say, are Jay, Max. I don't know. I mean, you can't say it about Chris. I think he can do it. If he gets hot, he has a strong team.
Like, I get it, but so much has to fall. Like, I haven't even looked at, I don't even know if it's mathematically possible with matchups and stuff, but he cannot lose. If he loses, he's out for sure. And even if he wins out, I don't even like, he's definitely not a lock for the playoffs, even if he wins out.
Well, he needs like one of the teams that are 5-3 to get like really hot and win out, except for him. That's what he needs. He needs some like splitting. He needs the middle to kind of diverge to goods and bads, and then he'll have a shot if he wins out.
Yeah, he's got a good team. It looks good this week.
That's what I'm saying. You can't not call him a contender, because if he gets in, he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, and we'll start with that matchup. This is a big one. I'd say the loser is probably kicked out of the playoffs, and that's Perna takes on Malone. Malone's 4-4. Perna is 3-5, and Perna's team looks disgusting. He also has the new additions of Terry McLaurin and James Robinson this week, courtesy of Rock from the last week's trade.
Yep. I mean, he looks good. I mean, I think Chase Claypool is not a great start. I don't think he's super dependable. I don't think that offense exactly is like the best, but
to be fair, he's playing Dallas. That's probably the best matchup outside of the Jets, and it might even be better, or maybe Seattle. Those are the three best.
That's fair, but still, I mean, it's hard to say, because he had one really good game, and then
I agree.
And it been
who's your favorite wideout in that offense?
You talking the Steelers?
Yeah, Juju, Deontay, or Claypool.
But I don't love any of them, honestly. I think they're all. I mean, Juju's the best. I think he's the biggest PPR threat, but I don't love that offense in terms of its wideouts in general. I'm guessing, I don't know this for sure, but if you put them up, they're probably a lower scoring bunch.
Not really. They're pretty good. They've been good this year.
Which one?
All of them. Actually, Juju has been like kind of the worst.
Like, what are their ranks though?
Well, I know Deontay Johnson's been hurt a lot, so that's tough. But when he does play, he's got like over a 30% target share. Claypool's had those huge games, and then Juju hasn't done a whole lot, but he's played.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't like they're fine, I guess. I don't love that team of wideouts, but
yeah, that's fair. I mean, to me, it's similar to the Bucks in the sense that it's like you just don't know who to play. Now that like AB's there, Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronk, Scotty Miller, all those guys, you just like don't know who to play. I think that's similar to the Steelers.
Yep, that sounds pretty fair to me, honestly, because there's no Antonio Brown there, so
yeah. But let's hear your thoughts on Perna and Malone. I want to hear just quick thoughts, and then we're going to go into our score predictions for this week for that game.
I don't know. I think probably the biggest issue is Malone needs Amari Cooper to be solid, and I just don't see him being solid.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's got enough dependability on Mike Williams and Swift really being big time contributors. So, I mean, my intuition would say I think Perna's got a way better chance. I think he's got more firepower. He's got depth is close, because I personally don't love Chase Claypool, and I don't love Jimmy Graham, but otherwise I think he's got a very strong lineup, and the Steelers defense are going to put up like 30. So.
Yeah, I agree. Steelers defense is going to be a crazy play, and I think that the Rodgers-Devontae connection that starts tonight, like, we expect them to have a big game, and if they do, Malone's fucked.
The only thing that hurts is I don't see how the Niners score. So
sure, I could see that.
I think it could be a little bit of a ground and pound for them, because I mean, I really Kittle. I mean, if they had Kittle, they'd be able to score. But
Yeah, and
I
no,
don't
like
love
everyone's
Jimmy.
out. Like Ayuk's out, Debo's out. Like their wide receiver one is like Trent Taylor and like
Yeah,
Richie
so that's
James.
crazy. So
Yeah,
I don't know. That's not a great matchup, but still, I think he'll have the tools to do it. I don't think I don't know, the Green Bay defense doesn't exactly like shut the door on people. So
sure. All right, I'm gonna give you my score prediction for this game, and then we'll move on to yours, and then we'll go to the next matchup. I think Perna gets the win, improving his record to 4-5, and I think he wins handily. I think he beats his projection of 158. I think he'll have another 170 game. He's looking good, and so I'll give him 170 on the dot, and I think Malone has a tough week. I'll give him like 125. I think it's going to be murder.
it's fair. I don't see any. I don't have any disagreement there, honestly.
Do you want to give a score prediction or not really?
Do you want me to give one?
Yeah.
I'll go 148 for the Devontae duo to 135.
All right. So closer game. Dill and I agree that Perna will improve to 3-5, and we think Malone will fall to 4-5. Let's hop into the next game. That's Spinelli Stakes takes on Make Hollywood Great Again, Mikey Santana. A battle of the 5 and 3s. Probably the winner of this is likely to make the playoffs, and the projections are very much in Mikey's favor. He has what ESPN is calling it a 59% chance to win, and projected to absolutely decimate Nelly, 143.7 to 117.2. What do you think about this matchup?
I quite frankly think that win probability is way too low for Mike. I think he's got a really good looking team.
Yeah.
I think the matchups are okay. I think Keenan Allen, that's a great matchup, I would say. The Cardinals, I don't know. Hopkins could be a good matchup. I honestly don't think I don't think Tua was the move. I would much rather have them with Fitzpatrick so they can score a little more. I don't see them scoring much, but otherwise, I mean, Melvin Gordon will be a good play against a weak Atlanta. So
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, that kind of hurts. I don't know that that's a decent defense and not great, but okay.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be close for sure. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully DK gets shut down. I think you and I are probably both rooting for Nick because Mikey's got a really good team and it's scary. I don't think we want to
and
play
I
it.
hope DK gets shut down, but quite frankly, I don't think so.
Yeah, Trey has not looked great this year. Hopefully
And
he turns it around this week.
I mean, that's a tough matchup. I mean, that's a really big wide out on a rather undersized corner. So
yeah,
we'll see I don't even know how they'll cover him, if they'll have Trey follow him around the whole time or what. Be interested to see.
For sure. It's going to be a good one. My final score prediction for this game, though, I think Mikey, it's unfortunate. His team is sick. I think he'll put up also a 170. He put up 177 last week. I think he'll put up 170. I think Nick will destroy his projection of 117. I actually like Cam this week. He's playing the Jets and he's pissed. I think he's going to run all over them. Yeah. And I really like Chase Edmonds, but I don't like Ronald Jones. I don't love Christian Kirk. Don't love Judy. And he's getting unlucky with injury. Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, Calvin Ridley. He's getting screwed. And Jonathan Taylor. So his whole team is on his bench. It's shitty to see, but I still think he's gonna I think I'll have a good week. I think I'll put up 140, but I think Mikey ultimately takes the cake. How about you?
I disagree. I think Nick will be right down by that projection. I don't see anyone who's going to be really exploding.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously my thoughts on the Pittsburgh wideouts are low. I don't care for Juju. Don't think he's number one in general.
Yeah.
So I'll say his projection's pretty close. I'll say 120, and I think Mike's gonna have a week.
Yeah.
Not quite as good as you, but I'll say 159 for Mike. So 159 to 120.
So here you have it. Dill and I both agree that Nelly will fall to 5-4, And we think Mikey will win and go to 6-3. Let's move on to the next matchup. And this one's a close one, I think. We're talking Max and Rock here. It's a big one for Rock. He's tied for first at 5-3, and Max is 3-5. He's fighting to avoid being in the Sacko Bowl and hopefully kick out Rock. And Rock has a tough go at it. Well, we're gonna find out soon if Aaron Jones plays or not. Right now, he has him in his lineup. If he doesn't, it sounds like Rock's gonna be starting Tyler Ervin. But he's got Kareem Hunt on bye, Jarvis Landry on bye, and banged up AJ Brown, banged up Jamison Crowder. There's a chance neither of them play, or one or the other. And Max has a decent team. It's like next week it's gonna be better when he gets Nick Chubb back, but this week it's not bad. I mean, he's got Mahomes, he got screwed with Gaskin to IR, but I think Diggs has the best matchup of any receiver. I think he'll be wide receiver 1 this week against Seattle. So I do think it's going to be a close one. I'll give you guys my prediction in a sec, but Dill, what do you think about the matchup?
Yeah, Rock. I don't know. I think he's in trouble. I think Leonard Fournette, that's a tough one. I don't know how much I like him. I think he got the ball a lot because of an early fumble, but I don't think he is necessarily clearly the better player. I think it's very close with those two.
I agree.
I did think Leonard looked good, in fairness to him. I'm not trying to trash him. I also think Rojo's very good. So Leonard, I don't know. I think that's a tough, I think he's a little hit or miss. I love Justin Herbert. I think he's going to have probably close to 30 on that a weak defense for Las Vegas. Not a big Jonnu's fan. Certainly not a big fan against the Bears. I don't think he'll go off. Thielen will have I'd say good. Cole Beasley. Love Cole Beasley. I think he's very underrated. And otherwise, I don't know. I mean, Rock's team looks okay. I think, obviously, I don't think Mac's team is any good, but I do think this can be a close week just because Rock's got some tough matchups and a lot of really good players who are possibly either limited or no-goes. So,
yeah. Let's hear your final prediction for this game.
I think both these projections are probably a little high. I'll say 125. I think Max's are way high, and I'll say 125 to 121. Rock off.
So win. another close one for Rock. You think Rock's gonna win? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree with you here. That's gonna be our first disagreement. I think Max is gonna pull out the win. Though I do really like the Adam Thielen play. I think he's gonna have a big bounce back, but I don't think Aaron Jones is gonna play. And other than that, no one on that team really scares me. I think I love Cole Beasley. Don't get me wrong, but John Brown is back. I don't think Cole is gonna have as big of a game as you would think against Seattle. I don't love Herbert. And I think Max has a good team. I really do. I think Josh Jacobs has a good game. I think Mahomes has another good game. I think JaMychal Hasty tonight, if he can put in the teens or up, he'll be looking good. And I think Diggs is going to have a huge game. I think we've been waiting for, at least as Bills fans, Diggs and Josh Allen to connect on a deep ball, a deep touchdown. And I think that's that game this week. And I actually think there's going to be 2 of them. So I think a big game for Diggs, over 10 catches, over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns plus. That's my bold prediction. I think Diggs will carry Max to a win, and I think it's going to be in a big fashion, a big way. So I think he's going to put up 165. I think that'll be one of Max's best games. I think Rock puts up about 140, and I think Max takes the dub.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so this is our first disagreement. By Dill's prediction, he thinks Rock will improve to 6-3, and he thinks that Max will fall to 3-6. I think Max will win and go to 4-5, and I think Rock will lose and go to 5-4. We got 2 games left. The last one before we talk about our game is probably the worst matchup of the week, but it's an important one. It's an important one.
I don't think there's a whole lot to say.
Yeah, I mean, Hoove. I think the thing that we need to address is this game does kind of matter. I mean, we know Jay is going to be in the Sacko Bowl anyway, but this will like absolutely cement him in there. And then Hoove, if Hoove wins and Rock loses, then Hoove's right back in there and really fighting for a spot. I think if you're Hoove right now, you're actually feeling okay because all the top tier teams are playing each other. You and I are playing each other. Um, I think we think that at least Rock and Max is going to have a close game, and then the other first place teams, that being Mikey and Nick, are playing each other. So Hoove, as long as he wins, which he should, it's basically a bye week. He's looking good.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think Jay. I mean, he'll have some guys going. I think he obviously hasn't set a lineup.
Yeah,
But
I still don't think he's going to be much above the projection he has of 68.3 right now.
I mean, really, you're just plugging in Gibson and hopefully Chris Carson for him.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, I hope he doesn't play because I want the Bills, but
Yeah, it'd be nice
I don't.
to see
He
him.
doesn't really have much to put in those spots to fill the bye week because the Eagles being on bye hurts him.
Yep.
He has nothing else.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like right now, I mean, yeah, like you said earlier, he's got 3 guys on bye in his current lineup. Obviously, that will change, but
I
his
mean,
bench
offhand,
is impressive.
I honestly think the scores. I don't think Hooves got like a great situation this week.
He has really good wideouts. Like him and Mikey have the 2 best wideouts, that's for sure. But
That's
yeah,
true.
that's it. I think Josh Allen has a big game against Seattle. He has to, but it's not, his team's not overly impressive by any means.
Yeah. I don't think Allen Robinson, actually, that's a really good matchup. That defense is not very good. Tennessee. Lockett, hit or miss, obviously. It's been his whole MO for forever.
Lockett worries me. I think he's gonna have I think it's gonna be a Lockett game rather than
It's
a DK
tough. Like
game.
the Bills have given up a lot in the air, so
I know we've been
I
getting
don't know.
torched against the slot. I know like Cooper Kupp had his biggest game against the Bills, and like you like having Trey on DK, so I do think it's gonna be a Lockett game. I'll give you my prediction real quick, and then we'll hear yours. I don't think it's gonna be close. I've set the over under. The season long over under on Jay's team at 101.5. As if you guys listen, that's the thing. So I do think he's actually going to hit the under this week. I'm going to put him under 100 points, right around 87. It's going to be a pitiful performance by him. I just don't know who he's going to play.
I agree. I think he'll be maybe I'll give him something in the 90s, but don't see him breaking 100. So
all right, so we agree with that, and it sounds like we're gonna agree that Hoove is gonna win. I'm gonna give him like 140, right around his projection. How about you?
I like that. I think that'll be close. Maybe a little less, maybe in the 30s, but
yeah. So all right, so Dylan and I agree. We think that Jay is gonna fall to 1-7, and we think Hoove will improve to 5-4 and put himself firmly back into contention.
Yep.
All right. This is the moment all you guys have been waiting for, and that is the most important matchup of the week, and that is between you and I, Dill. It's going to be a close one. What do you think about the game?
I think I actually have decent matchups. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the flex right now. It's kind of a tough call. I'm considering starting Evan Ingram. I thought he looked very good, and he's getting a lot of action. I may start him and Gronk. Obviously, I can't not start Gronk. He's been sick. He looks like he's coming back to his old self. Just a red zone machine. I love it. I think that'll be a high-scoring game like it was in the first time, so love that. I love the matchup with the Texans. I think they're going to put up a lot of points. Yeah. But
yep, go ahead.
I think Kyler Murray's got a great matchup. So I think McCaffrey actually is. There's going to be a lot of scoring, hopefully.
Yep.
So I actually think I have
good matchups.
I do.
Yeah, I think you definitely have better matchups than me.
Oh yeah.
I also really liked your defensive pickup. Like I'm starting them in a couple of leagues myself, so that'll be bittersweet.
The
But
thing about you that worries me is Marvin Jones. I think him without Galladay will be strong.
yeah,
So that does concern me. Otherwise, I don't see a ton for you. That's going to be out of the ordinary. McCaffrey, he does his thing.
I'm hoping both you and I get our big spends back, and that's Christian McCaffrey for you and Michael Thomas for me. It'd be nice to get them back, and it'd be nice to both roll out our guys against each other. I wish you had a full healthy lineup. I think I'll see. Go ahead.
Oh, you're talking about the Bengals? Yeah, that hurts a lot. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean
Boyd hurts a lot. But
the bye and the two injuries with Mixon and Galladay. Like I'd like you to be fully healthy because I don't want any excuses when I wipe the floor with you.
no excuses. That's part of the game. You gotta adapt.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a close one. I'm excited for it. I don't know. I mean, like I think I love the timing of my games. I got the Tampa Bay and New Orleans Saints game on that Sunday night, so like that's gonna be a rough game for you. That's gonna be rough.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I will have Gronkowski, so
Yeah, you will have Gronk. Yeah, so I do think it's gonna be a close game. I think this will be the highest scoring game of the week. Um,
I love the Zeke matchup. I think
yeah.
that hurts bad.
There's a chance I don't start him, by the way. There's a good chance I plug in Deontay Johnson and I move David Montgomery up there. I've thought about it. We'll see what
I
happens.
mean, I would do that just looking at your team.
Yeah, I've thought about it. We'll see.
Will.
There's also a chance just because I want skin in the game tonight. There's a chance that I just fucking send it on Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you don't do that because then you'll make excuses like, "Oh, well, I started my scrubs." Like, okay,
I mean, I'll beat you in my scrubs.
yeah, we'll see.
I think just looking top down at like Ross Kyler, I'll call it even. To be fair, I think it's gonna be close. I think he'll destroy me. Well, I'm actually not. I was comparing Zeke to McCaffrey. I'm gonna put Alvin up there and McCaffrey, and I will be generous to you and call that a toss up when I don't. I actually don't think it will be close. I think Alvin's gonna destroy. Um, David Johnson versus David Montgomery. I think my David will win.
I mean, that's just a relentless bias. I'm not surprised you'd think that, but like that's crazy.
I feel very confident saying that David Montgomery will have more fantasy points than David Johnson this week. I feel very confident in that.
I mean, it's just not true.
And then when we look at our wideouts, it's like Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, like versus yours, like Slayton and Fuller. It's murder. You're fucked there. Like it's just not even close. I think Noah Fant has a bigger game than Gronk. I
mean, like that's like you're just like saying everybody on your team's better. Like so
exactly.
Better.
Yes, you're catching on. That's exactly right.
They're not that good.
No, you're spot on. Like every single player on my team is better than yours, and that's why I'm going to come out victorious this week.
Well,
and
we'll see. I mean, my score projection is honestly, I think I'm gonna have a good week. I think I'll be in the mid 160s. You'll be where you generally are, somewhere between 148 and 155.
All right, so we got your score prediction. Dill thinks he will advance to 6-3, and he thinks I will fall to 5-4. And before we let Dill go, I will just let him know I think I'm going to murder him with my biggest score of the year for me, as well as probably for everyone. I think I will be over 200 points and set the scoring record this week. I think I win 215. Yep, you heard it. 215 for Mr. Unlimited to about 145 for the Carolina Killers, who are just going to die.
Yeah, no, that's preposterous, but
we'll see how it goes. Dill, I know you got to get out of here. I will let you go. Any last words to the league?
No, I mean, just your whole breakdown of our matchup is stupid. And I hope you know that.
All right. Well, I appreciate having you on. I look forward to our matchup this week, and best of luck to you.
All right, I'll see you.
All right. And signing off for the Mendon Alum podcast, I'm your host, Kyle Singer. Peace out.